Hello, everyone. Today I will go through some chapters I have to read for my UCertify course, Web Security Associate, and another UCertify course, Certified Secure Software Lifecycle Professional. Network security background. The media frequently relate sensational incidents concerning internet-related security threats. Attacks by a cyber attacker, which include computer and email viruses, have become increasingly common. I will try to read whatever is the most important. Mm, where's this? Multiple vulnerabilities in Exim could allow for remote code execution. Mm, the internet is available to anyone with a network connection and an internet service provider account. In fact, it was designed to be an open network and therefore has a little built-in capacity for security information. From a security standpoint, the internet is inherently insecure. Security management concepts and principles are built-in elements in a security policy and solution deployment. They outline the fundamental parameters required for a secure environment. They additionally outline the goals and objectives that both policy designers and system implementers must achieve to create a secure solution. Somewhere refers security must start somewhere. Somewhere refers to the list of most vital security principles: integrity, confidentiality, availability. Availability is that it must be available to authorized users. Confidentiality, it must be private. It must be the protection of the secrecy of data. The goal of confidentiality is to protect and um, prevent from unauthorized access to data. Confidentiality focuses on security measure to ensure that no one other than the intended recipient of a message receives access to the data. Okay, confidentiality, only authorized users can access data. Availability, it must be available for authorized users. And integrity, the data cannot be tampered, changed, modified. Confidentiality and integrity depend on each other. Without object integrity, confidentiality cannot be maintained. Sensitivity. It refers to the quality of information that may cause harm or damage if disclosed. Discretion. It is an act of decision where an operator can influence or control disclosure in order to minimize harm or damage. Criticality. It is the level to which information is mission critical. It specifies the measure of criticality for the information. If the level of criticality is higher, the confidentiality of the information should be maintained. Concealment. It is the act of hiding or preventing disclosure. Often, concealment is viewed as a means of covert obfuscation or distraction. Secrecy. It is the act of keeping something a secret or preventing the disclosure of information. Privacy, it refers to keeping the information confidential that is personally identifiable or that might cause embarrassment or disgrace to someone if revealed. Seclusion, it involves storing something in an out of the way location. This location can also provide strict access controls. Isolation, it is the act of keeping something separated from others. Okay, integrity, correctness of data, other concepts involved in integrity are accuracy, to be corrected and precise, truthfulness, to be true, reflection of reality, authenticity, to be authentic or genuine, validity, to be factually or logically sound, non repudiation, not to be able to deny having performed an action or activity, or being able to verify the origin of communication or event. Accountability, to be responsible or obligated for actions and results. Responsibility, to be in charge or have control over something or someone. Completeness, having all needed and necessary components or parts. Comprehensiveness, to be complete in scope, the full inclusion of all needed elements. Availability means authorized subjects are granted timely and uninterrupted access to objects. Objects can be files, software, anything that is on the network, or it can be also physical access. Usability. Other terms involved with availability are usability, the state of being easy to use or learn, or being able to be understood and controlled by a subject. Accessibility, the assurance that the widest range of subjects can interact with a resource regardless of their capabilities and limitations. Timeliness, being prompt on time within an acceptable time frame or providing a low latency response. Uh-oh. Description. To be able to verify the origin of communication or event and unable to deny. This is easy. This is no non repudiation. Don't show me. Keep the mouse pointer on the drab area. What? Keep the mouse pointer? While dropping, keep your mouse. It took me a while, but I figured that out. To be complete in scope and include the full inclusion of all needed elements. To be complete. Completeness? Just like that? To have all needed and necessary components. To be complete in scope. To be responsible or obligated for actions and their results. To be in charge of having control over something, someone. Responsible. So probably responsible goes here. To be responsible, obligated for actions. Actions is accountability. To have all needed and necessary components. Maybe completeness and include full inclusion. To have um let's see, have all needed and necessary components. Okay, that's correct. Comprehensiveness, to be complete in scope. This is very similar. The full inclusion of all needed elements. Here are all components and here are all elements. It's super similar. Having all needed and necessary components. Completeness. To be complete in scope. Okay, so when it says about scope, it's comprehensiveness. Submit is all correct. Okay. Mm, network vulnerabilities. Vulnerability is a weak spot in the network that might be exploited by a security threat. Risks are the potential outcomes and effects of unaddressed vulnerabilities. You can also explain vulnerability as failing to update. Windows on the web server is a vulnerability. Um, router. This device is used to control traffic flow on network and is used to connect similar networks and control traffic flow between the two. Access point, they are also known as a base station hotspot, provides centralized access to multiple wireless client. Radio NIC, this device operates within the computer device and provides wireless connectivity. User devices, users of wireless LAN operate a large number of devices, such as PC, mm, users of wireless LAN, users devices, antenna. All wireless devices require an antenna. Sometimes the antenna is encased inside the device. That's true. It is attached to the outside in many cases. It is possible to attach a more powerful antenna which can allow the wireless network client to reside farther away than originally intended by the manufacturer. Repeater, this is a signal amplification device. Okay, that's what repeater is. Antenna allows the wireless network client to reside farther away. Frequency hopping spread spectrum, originally developed by World War II. This is the history. Orthogonal frequency division multiplexing splits radio signal into smaller sub-signals. This is Web Security Associate course. I don't think I will ever use this information. Whoa. N is a weak spot in the network. Vulnerability. What? Why we don't see anything here? Is the potential outcome and effect of unaddressed exposure. Um, a system that uses a wireless NIC is known as spectrum. The the rest. The endpoint is a technique for radio transmission. No, that will be spectrum. A system that uses a wireless NIC is known as an endpoint. Okay, submit. Okay, all good. Correct answers. My answer. Okay. Wow. This sometimes repeats on different exams. However, I never learned this. This is so hard to remember. Okay, let's try. 802.11. The original specifications for wireless networking initially provided for data rates of 1 megabit per second, megabyte per second, or 2. How to properly read this MB megabits. Okay. 802.11a operates at up to 54 megabits per second and 5 GHz. What about GHz means gigahertz? Yes, 5 gigahertz. Oh. The standard uses OFDM. Okay. B 11B operates at 11 megabits. 2.4 gigahertz. Okay. G operates at speed 54, the same like A, but 2.4. N operates at 5 gigahertz and it can also operate 2.4. Okay. Do I have to mark that I read something? I think it marked for me. I don't have to do it. Okay. Okay. N and 2009 gets the bandwidth of 6 megabits per second with the use of 4 spatial streams at a channel with width of 40 megahertz. It uses multiple input, multiple output. MIMO, input output. 800.11h solves problems with wireless network operating in the 5 gigahertz. And I, also known as WPA2, this amendment to the 802.11. Okay. Oh, AX. There have been several iterations of 802.11ax. IEEE-AC. The standard was approved January It's up to gigabit per second with at least 5 megabits per second. It uses 8 BMO, multiple input and output. Okay, it's hard to remember this. Um, Wireless networks problems. Network problems. Clear text transmission. By default, many wireless network protocols communicate in the clear. Ah, access control. What time is it? It's 12 a.m., 12:30. Access control. It is possible to obtain the SSID because it is either unencrypted or poorly encrypted. Oh, my body wants to sleep. Corporate users participating in ad hoc networks. Weak and or flawed encryption. The packet by packet encryption process can slow traffic, especially in busy systems. Word driving. Malicious users can surreptitiously scan for wireless apps access points that allow unauthorized access, also called warmwalking. Let's see, what is this surreptitiously? Oh, can I check like that? No. Let's see. In a way that attempts to avoid notice or attention. To avoid notice or attention. Um, um, Synonym. Oh God, really? It doesn't help. Mm, oh wow, okay. Okay, surreptitious are clandestine, covert, furtive, secret, stealthy, and underhanded. Underhanded. Unfair, nieuczciwy. Surreptitious. Okay. Surreptitiously scan. Un- Unfair. Clandestine. Okay, let's go next page. Mm, Wired equivalent privacy web. MAC address filtering. MAC address spoofing. The chief problem with nice open. The chief problem with MAC address filtering is that it is possible to spoof, clone MAC addresses using the commonly available software. Because it is possible to easily spoof MAC addresses, the practice of filtering only increases the challenge for cyber attackers. To solve the problem, use stronger authentication and access control. Oh, Mm, oh, no, 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 no. 801. Wait, what was the number? 802.11 is responsible for encryption or bandwidth. Use stronger authentication and access control. Exactly how transmit frames defines the wireless standard encryption is provided. Yes, so why this says stronger authentication? Mm, so does it do authentication? But only partially. Okay, I didn't know that. Um, does basic authentication, but it's not secure authentication. It only supports open system authentication, shared key authentication, legacy, strong user. Does not. Yes, those. Yes, 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 yes. Okay, so I was asking about this. Um. Okay, so it always has to come with X. Carries the authentication method certs, passwords, MFA, port-based. Okay, so 802.11x is a way different than 802.11. I thought this is the same for some reason, or it's like from the same family. Yeah, authentication. So they are not from the same family. They are from IEEE umbrella, but not the same family. Different families, working groups, breakdown, 802.11 wireless LAN standards, 802.1x network access control, authentication part. Okay. Okay. Mm, when the client connects to an access point on 802.1 network, it is always placed in an unauthorized state. Okay, so this is the default unauthorized state. When a client is unauthorized, it cannot, what is this? It cannot access even the most basic services. However, as soon as authorization occurs, the client will be allowed to fully participate in the network. Okay. Dial in radius, dial in user service, remote authentication dial in. Okay. I think this is old. I don't think many people use dial in. Redis centralizes authentication for remote connections. It is typically used when organization has more than one network access server. A user can connect to any network access server, which then passes on the user's credentials to the Radius server to verify authentication and authorization and to track accounting, physical, and configuration solutions. Mm, let's try. Centralized authentication for remote connection. Centralizes authentication encrypts all data packets sent between all wireless clients. Makes use of advanced encryption standard, block cipher. Wait. Oh, remote connection. This will be radius. Um, authenticate users wireless network. Encrypts all data. Okay, let's check. Okay. Can I change? Can I reset? Wow. Okay. So this one makes use of advanced encryption standard and X designed to centrally authenticate users who want to have access. Encrypts all data packets on access point, and here Radius centralizes authentication for remote connection through dial-in. Okay. Submit and all good. Convergence, networking, and security. Private branch exchange allows company to manage its own telephone infrastructure. Voice over routers and switches can be configured to handle voice data. Virtual LANs, logical grouping of hosts, made possible by network switch and most newer routers. Generally, a VLAN is not implemented by a firewall. In a VLAN, group of hosts can be created regardless of where they are physically connected to a LAN. VLANs are useful in the following ways. Um, VLANs are useful security if place hosts that receive or transmit sensitive traffic inside a VLAN, then malicious users will have more difficulty sniffing network traffic. It is also possible to configure access control lists. Okay, VLAN hopping is type of attack in which a cyber attacker can intercept packets as they are being sent from one VLAN and redirect those packets to a port that is not normally accessible from a given end system, thereby threatening network security. Attackers have been able to snip data at switch level, okay? Thwarting, VLAN hopping, thwart. Disabling auto-trunking reduces the possibility of VLAN hopping. Cyber attack can intercept packets, Villain hopping. Attackers have been able to sniff data. Um, Auto-trunking is a function that enables one or more switch ports in a system of VLANs to carry traffic that enables more switch. Trunk port is a switch that um trunk port is hold on. Trunk port is a switchboard that carries traffic from multiple VLANs. Uses VLAN tagging, connects switch to switch. And they are unsafe. Yes. They carry multiple VLANs, including sensitive ones. Double tagging is VLAN hopping, where an attacker adds two VLAN tags to a single internet frame to trick a switch. Um, what is a tag? A tag is an extra information added to an internet frame to identify which. Okay. So for example, VLAN 10, and the attacker can add two different VLAN 10, and then the user is confused. Which one is actual VLAN 10? For example, native VLAN sent untagged. Okay, okay. Firewall practices applied to VLANs. Right-click, hold on. Here are the steps to configure VLAN. Right-click on single firewall or firewall cluster. In the left navigation pane, select Interfaces. Right-click Physical Interface, New VLAN. Define the VLAN interface properties. Click OK. The specified VLAN ID is added to the physical interface. Continue the configuration in one of the following ways. Add ADSL interfaces, wireless interface, modem interfaces, tunnel interfaces or integrated switches, and IP addresses to the physical interfaces or VLAN interfaces. Alright, cyber attacker statistics. Any successful cybersecurity violation results in the fall down or ruin the public reputation of an entire company or organization. Cybersecurity is not only a concern for large entities like banks, trends. No. We're okay. Entities like banks, tech companies, and government agencies, but every other person. Okay. Statistics. No, we don't have to read this. The myth. Connectivity implies risk. If you allow legitimate users to access your computers, the opportunity exists for abuse. One popular saying is that the only secure computer is one that has been disconnected from the network. A key security principle is to use solutions that are effective but that do not improperly burden legitimate users. Want access to needed information, finding ways to actually apply this principle is often a difficult balancing act. This table summarizes the most important aspects of an effective security system. Access control. You have achieved your goal of allowing access to only legitimate users. Okay. Ease of use. If a security system is difficult to use, many employees will find ways to circumvent it. Effective security system. You have ensured that the interface is intuitive. Appropriate cost of ownership. You have considered not only the initial purchase cost, but also the price of upgrades. Appropriate cost. You have also considered the cost of administration. Flexibility and scalability. Your system allows your company to do business the way it wants to. Okay. Superior alarming and reporting. In the event of a security breach, your system notifies the administrator quickly and in sufficient detail. What you are trying to protect: end users, resources, network resources, server resources, information storage. Potential threat: network resources, IP spoofing, server resources, unauthorized entity, database. Uh-huh. Um, it consists of issues like obtaining trade secrets, customer data, and so forth. It consists of issues. Database and information storage. It consists of issues like unauthorized entry, interrupted service. It consists of issues like IP spoofing, network, end user virus, and server. It consists like unauthorized entry, interrupted service to server. Yeah. Submit. All good. Let's go to the next lesson summary. Okay, here is the end. Okay. Learn about confidentiality, integrity, understanding integrity, availability, authentication, identity management mechanism to be used for identity. Identity provider is used to denote a system or service. Oznaczać, indicate, to indicate a system. Okay, is used to denote a system or service that creates, maintains, and manages identity information. Identity provider can range in scale and scope from operating for a single system to operating across an enterprise. Additionally, they can be operated locally, distributed, or federated depending on the specific solution. Do we have to Oh, it's green. Okay. Do I have to mark those? Um, if we operate locally, identity provider is to denote a system service. Identity attributes. How would you describe the elements of an identity? And the identity attributes are the specific characteristics of an identity, name, department, location, login ID, identification, number, email, address, and so on, that are used to accurately describe a specific entity. These elements are needed if one is to store identity information in some form direction, such as LDAP directory. Certificates based authentication is a means of providing identity via the presentation of a certificate. Certificates offer a method of establishing authenticity of specific objects such as an individual, public key, or downloaded software. Authenticity of specific object. Certificates are the means of establishing authenticity of specific objects. Establishing authenticity of specific objects. Identity tokens that security token that represents claims about the authentication of an entity by a specific authentication scheme and access token is a form again about the authentication of an entity by a specific authentication scheme. An access token is a form of identity token in physical form. Falls into the something you have. Okay, is a physical. Okay. The tokens themselves can also be grouped in multiple ways to provide different access levels. Smart cards can also be used to carry identification tokens. It can be stolen. SSH keys are access credentials used by a secure shell protocol. Smart cards implementing authentication. Relying party user requesting. OpenID of can use without pre-arranged identity provider. RP trust relationship defines universal identifier, achieves SSO without trust, access to broad user populations. All pre-arranged ID-RP trust relationship require access to key user groups. Okay. X.509 refers to a series of standards associated with the manipulation of certificates used to transfer asymmetric keys between parties in a verifiable manner. Refers to a series of standards. Is a standard is a standard for digital certificates used to provide identity in secure communications. Plain meaning. An X.509 certificate is like a digital ID card binding a public key to an identity by user. It's used for transfer layer secure. TLS stands for security transfer layer. TLS stands for transport layer security. Mm, what an X and 509 certificate contains? Subject, public key, issuer, certificate authority. Again, it connects public key to the identity, public key to identity. That's all you have to know about X.509. What is this? Okay. Extension, serial number. Hmm. Identifies CA, specifies the owner of the security. You sure? I will be guessing because I'm very sleepy. Okay. Validity allows additional data to be encoded. Additional data. So probably extension identifies the version. Let's go with the version. Identifies the version standard. Specifies the dates through which the certificate is accurate. Validity. Subject identifies the that generated and digital signed the certificate. Subject. Let's see. Issuer. Okay. So here is issuer. Specify the dates. Um, Subject specifies the owner of the certificate. Version. Extension. Come on. Where is submit? Okay. Authorization. Access control. Logging. Um, what needs to be logged is a function of several critical criteria. First, numerous compliance programs, HIPAA, SOX, PCI. Okay. SysLog is an Internet Engineering Task Force approved protocol for log messaging. SysLog is for log messaging. Let's see. It is designed. Wait. Oh, okay. It is designed around Unix and provides a Unix-centric format. Aha, syslog. Sending long information across an IP network. I would say yes. It is de facto standard for logging management in the Java. No, I don't think it's Java. It provides a way for network devices to send messages and log events for log messaging. It is an IPS approved protocol. No, it is Internet Engineering Task Force approved. Let's see. Correct. Non-repudiation is a method, is undenying is inability to deny the action taken by an individual. Okay. Protects information from being accessed by unauthorized parties. Confidentiality. Maintains and assures the accuracy and completeness of data integrity. Ensures accessibility of the data from anywhere, whenever a user needs it. Availability. Applies access control rules to a user process and determines if a specific user process can access an object. Authorization. And lastly, defines the separation of users by allowing the differentiation between authorized and unauthorized. Defines the separation of users. Authentication. Boom, next page. Security and quality. Quality has a long history in manufacturing and can be defined as a fitness for use. Quality can also be seen as absence of defects. Although this may seem to be the same thing as security, it is not, but they are related. Software can be a high quality and free of defects and still not be secure. The converse is the important issue. The converse, the converse is like the reversely, the converse. If software is not of high quality and has defects, then it is not going to be secure. Right. Because a significant percentage of software security issues in practice are due to the basic mistakes where the designer or developer should have known better. Software quality does play a role in the security of the final product. Ross Anderson, a renowned expert in security, has stated that investments in software quality will result in a reduction of security issues, whether the quality product program targets security issues or not. Security features doesn't equal security software. A common misconception is when someone confuses security features with a software. Security features are elements of a program specifically designed to provide some aspect of security. Adding encryption, authentication, and other security measures features can improve the usability of software. Commonly sought after elements to a program. This is not what secure development is about. So, secure software development is about ensuring that all elements of a software package are constructed in a fashion where they operate securely. Again, secure software development is about ensuring that all elements of a software package are constructed in a fashion where they operate securely. All elements are constructed in a way that can operate securely. Okay. To do and only what is designed. Another another element of secure software is that the function must does must do what they are expected to do, what they are designed to do. Okay. Debian Linux, random number bag, where a design flaw resulted in a flawed random number. Software team awareness education. Gates and security requirements. As part of the development process, periodic reviews are conducted in an SDL. These are referred to as gates. The term gate is used to signify a condition that one must pass through. The condition that must be passed through. Backtracking. Backtracking is basic part of software development. As the code is developed, bugs are discovered. Bugs are elements of code, okay, that have issues that result in undesired behaviors. Sometimes the behavior results in something that can be exploited, and this makes the potential security bug. Bugs need to be fixed. Threat modeling, that's my favorite. Threat modeling is a design technique used to communicate information associated with a threat throughout the development team. Design technique used to communicate information. That's the most stupid explanation of threat modeling. It's a design technique used to communicate information. It's not only to communicate information, it's to model threats possible that can appear in your enterprise. It's not to design to use to communicate. It's not only to rely information. The threat modeling effort begins at the start of the project and continues throughout the development effort. The purpose is to completely define and describe threats. Yes, this is more proper explanation. The first sentence is like misleading. You could read this and you would be like, what? Design technique. Yes, it is design technique, but it's about threat modeling. Design all possible threats, assumptions, and mitigations. Communicating this material among all members of development team enables everyone to be on the same page, right, with respect to understanding and responding to threats to the system. Threat modeling will be covered. Nice. I like that. Phasing is a test technique where the tester applies a series of inputs that are incorrect, right, to an interface in an automated fashion and examines. So it's a lot of incorrect input and examines the outputs for undesired behaviors, like it overloads the system. Phasing. Security reviews, mm, adding a series of security-related steps of the CDL software development lifecycle can improve the software security, adding security-related steps. But as the old management axiom goes, you get axiom, axiom pewnik, certainty, so mitigations. Using a system such as the dread model indicating process of bug. This will be lesson 13. Awesome. Super cool. Risk equals impact multiplied by probability associated with each bug so as to determine which bugs pose the greatest risk. With each bug as to determine, okay. When bugs are discovered, there is a natural tendency to want to just fix the problem, but as in most things in life, the devil is in the details, and most bugs are not easily fixed with a simple change of the code. Why? Well, these errors are caught much earlier and rooted out before they become a security bug. When a security bug is determined to be present, four standard mitigation techniques are available to the development team. Do nothing, warn the user, remove the problem, fix the problem. When security bug is attempted to be present, four standard mitigations. Okay, let's try this. Defines a condition that one must pass through by reviewing the appropriate security requirements. Um, Communicates information associated with the risk throughout the development. This is threat modeling. Implements a series of inputs to an interface in an automated fashion. This is fuzzing testing. Gate is when the condition must be met to pass through by reviewing the appropriate security requirements. Backtracking captures reports and monitors data on errors that take place in software. Uh-oh. Submit. Lesson review. Security design principles. Session management. Software system frequently require. What time is it? It's 1:16 a.m. Okay. Few more minutes. Session systems frequently require communication between program elements or between users and program elements. The control of the communication system uh, mark as read. Okay. The control of the communication session between these elements is essential to prevent the hijacking. The control of the communication session between elements. Session management refers to the design and implementation of controls to ensure the communication channels are secured from unauthorized. Session management refers to design and implementation of controls to ensure that communication channels are secured from unauthorized access and disruption of a communication. A common example is the transmission control protocol handshake that enables the sequential numbering of packets and allows for packet retransmission for missing packets. Exception management. There are times when a system encounters an unknown condition or is given input that results in an error. The process of handling these conditions, exception management, I need simpler explanation. Exception management is the formal process of allowing a temporary or documented temporary exception to a security policy control standard. Is temporary exemption, that's it. When full compliance isn't currently possible. Plain explanation. Sometimes the system can't meet a security requirement right now because it's old or it's risky, outage risk. Instead of ignoring the rule, the organization formally grants an exemption and tracks it. What exemption management includes? Documenting the exception, risk assessment. Exemption management is an exemption to the rule, is an exemption in the formal process that that regularly is goes as established, but in some cases there must be done an example. Okay. Approval by the right authority, security risk management, time limit, compensating controls, review and expiration. Uh, let's go back. Next lesson, handling vulnerabilities. Okay, cool. Um, configuration management. Configuration management. Let's go. Configuration management. Okay. Is the process of identifying, documenting, controlling, and tracking changes to systems and their settings so they stay secure, consistent, and reliable. Process of identifying, documenting, and controlling, tracking changes. Tracking, controlling. Okay, configuration management is tracking changes. Exemption management is adding exemption to the rule, to the regular process of something because something doesn't work as or the regular process is not the best in certain scenario. What it includes, baselines, configuration management is tracking changes to systems and their settings. What it includes, baseline, approved secure configuration, change control, version tracking, documentation, auditing, and monitoring. A server has a secure baseline, firewall on ports closed. Someone wants to change a setting, the change is approved. Okay, tenant description. What? Oh, okay. Exception management manages error conditions when a program in a system encounters. This will be configuration because this is tracking. What? Wait. This, this. No. Number three. Yes. Maintains consistency of a product's performance. Did we have session management? Yes. Require communication between between program elements or between users and program elements. It refers to design and implementation of control to ensure that communication channels are secured. Okay. Physical attributes, requirement, and operation throughout its life. I would go number two, C refers to the implementation of controls to ensure the communication channels are secured. No, no, no. This is A. This is about making sessions secure, exception management, maintenance, consistency of products, performance, functional and physical attributes with its requirement and operational information throughout its life. Um, it's like a little unclear. Oh, okay. B manages error condition. What was configuration management in this case? Documenting, tracking changes. Okay, this configuration management, maintenance consistency. It tracks maintenance consistency, performance, functional, exception management, manages error conditions when a program in a system encounters an unexpected condition or any error. Okay, let it be, let it be. Good enough security. Security is never an absolute. Least privilege, separation of duties, defense in depth. This is defense in depth. So it's many layers. No, it's hold on. Layered security. Right. Fail safe. Exception management. Economy of mechanism. Complete mediation. Open design. Least common mechanism. Of least common design. Open design is the idea of security through obscurity. It, yeah, it's not like the only technique that should be used. Physiological acceptability. Users are key part of system and its security, including a user in the security of a system. Complete mediation. um, the system must be designed so that the authorization system is never circumvented. Complete mediation. Even with multiple repeated accesses, this principle is the one involved in the use of the security kernel. Complete mediation and fail safe. What's that? Short and simple. Oh, just complete mediation. Every access request is checked against security rules. No shortcuts, no cached permissions. Okay. Fail safe. If something fails, access is denied by default. System falls back to the most secure state. Single point of failure. Just as multiple defenses. Okay, single point of failure is any aspect of oh, okay. It feels green by itself. Cool. Okay. Mm, yeah, all green. Oh no, those are not green. Okay. It's just a matter of time. Okay. Single point of failure. Any aspect of a system that, if it fails, mean the entire system fails. It is imperative for a secure system to not have any single points of failure. The design the design of a software system should be such that all points of failure are analyzed. Um, let's see. Single point of failure. Explain in one sentence. Okay? A single point of failure is one component whose failure causes the entire system to stop working. A single point of failure is one component that causes entire system to fail. So it's a so it is a negative thing then, right? A single point of failure means one failure can bring down the whole system. So good system design tries to eliminate or reduce single point of failure. Okay, I see. Through redundancy and backups. Awesome. Right. I understand now it better. So cool. Okay. Allocates description allocates parts of critical job functions to different people so that no single person performs all tasks. Separation of duties, of course. Refers to a design method designed to prevent the inadvertent sharing of information. This least common mechanism. Do not share too much information that could cause harm. Fail safe ensures that after a breakdown the system is in the least harmful state. Ensures that after breakdown the system is in the least harmful state for the data, the user, and anything else affected by the system. Adjust the layers of network security as network traffic roadblocks where each layer intend to slow an attacker progress rather than eliminating it outright. Least privilege. Least privilege princess assigns users only the permissions they need to perform their job responsibilities. Okay. Submit. Cool. Security models. Access control model ACM. Ensure protection. Cool. Access control list, MAC model. A less frequently employed system for restricting access is mandatory access control. DAC model. Discretionary access control. Yes. Both discretionary access control and mandatory access control are terms originally used in military as defined by the Orange Book, are a means of restricting access to objects. The controls are discretionary in the sense that a subject with certain access permission. um, in that system, in DAC, discretionary access control, um, the owner of an object, yes, and the owner of an object can decide who has access to the object and what specific access they may have. Role based is access based on roles, access based on rules, access based access control matrix. Um, is a simplified form of access control notation where the allowed actions a subject is permitted with an object are listed in a matrix format. This is a general purpose model with no constraints on its formulation. The strength is this model is in this model is its simplicity. Weakness, difficulty in implementation because it has no constraints. It can be difficult to implement in practice. Uh, Attribute based access on attribute associated with an identity. Bell Lapadula. Confidentiality model. Model is a confidentiality preserving model. The Bell Lapadula model. Security model employs both mandatory and discretionary access control mechanisms, implementing its two basic security principles. First, simple security rule, which states that no subject can read information from an object with a security classification higher than that possessed by the subject itself. No read up rule. This means the system must have its access levels arranged in hierarchical form with defined higher and lower levels of access. Because the Bell Lapadula model was designed to preserve confidentiality, it is focused on read and write access. Mm, Hague Grant model is built upon graph theory. This model is conceptually very different from the other models, but has one distinct advantage. It can be used to definitively determine rights. This model is a theoretical model based on mathematical representation of the controls in the form of directed graph, with the vertices being the subjects and vertices. Let's go to the dictionary for a second. Wierzchołki.
Vertices.
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 Vertices. Okay, vertices being the subjects and objects. The edges between them represent the rise between the subject and the objects. There are two unique rise to this model. Okay. Uh, the take grand model. Multi-level security model. What is this? Like the security models? Hmm. Clark Wilson model. Uh, it will be a little bit hard to memorize all of those models. Chinese wall. Data flow diagrams. The primary issue in security is the protection of information when stored while in transit. Uh-huh. So data flow diagrams are specifically designed to document the storage movement of data. Um, Data flow diagrams are graphical in nature. Yes, and I was drawing one when I was doing the threat modeling. The highest level, level 0, is a high-level contextual view of the data flow through the system. The next level, level 1, is created by expanding elements of the level 0 diagram. This level can be exposed further to a level 2 diagram, a lowest level diagram of a system. 0 is first, medium, and 2 is the lowest. Use case models. The data flow diagram examines a system from the information flow perspectives. The use case model examines the system from a functional perspective. Oh boy, so many models. Can I copy this all? No, it didn't. It didn't. It did not. Um, Security models. No, it did not. List all security models and give short, simple explanation. Cool. Bella Padula, focus, confidentiality, rule, no read up, no write down, Biba, integrity, no read down, no write up, yep. Clark Wilson, integrity, confidentiality, integrity, business system. Only approved programs can change data. Brewer Nash, Chinese wall, conflict of interest. Rule access depends on what you access before. Lattice based, mandatory access control. Access based on security labels and levels. Access matrix permissions defines who can do what to which resource. Graham Denning. Rights management, secure creation and transfer of permissions. Take grant permission flow models how rights can be taken or granted. Models how rights can be taken. Non-interference. Isolation actions at high level don't affect low level. Uh, um, what does that mean? Ensures that high-level secure actions do not affect low-level actions at high level. Uh-huh. Users can't see or infer. Do not affect what low level. Example, high can't leak to low even indirectly. Top secret user runs the program and accesses classified data, but the public user cannot see any change in system output, timing, or behavior that would reveal the secret activity. In plain words, even though something important happened at the high level, low level users can't tell it happened at all. Assurance model. What's that? Oh. Focuses on how confident we are that security controls are designed, implemented, oh, and working correctly. Short and simple. It measures trust and confidence, not just rules, answers. How do we know the system is actually secure? Uh, okay. Code reviews, testing audits, an assurance model evaluates the correctness and effectiveness of security control. Let's check. NIST, Cybersecurity Framework. This is a voluntary framework. Prevention detection useful. Um, consists of standards, guidelines, best practices, cybersecurity model. Um, related risk in an organization. The CSF uses five main functions to categorize activities: identify, protect, detect, respond, recover. Understanding this concept in cases where the project under development will be used. Okay, let's see. Let's see. Why do we have only two choices? Oh, they are like, okay, I see. Defines two levels of integrity. Oh boy, I have no idea. Orders data and subject by their levels. Biba Clark Wilson. Let's see. Clark Wilson is business. Biba model. Rule. No read, no write down. Rule. Clark Wilson. Only authorized programs can change data. Uses well-formed transactions and separation of duties. Goal. Prevent low-quality data. Defines two levels. SDI. Mm, I am not sure. I'm going to guess. I have no idea. Okay. Um, Clark Wilson. Okay. Retry. So it will be Okay, submit defines two levels of integrity, SDI, CDI, and UDI. Clark Wilson orders data and subjects by their levels of integrity. BIBA uses integrity levels to separate permissions. BIBA uses transactions as the basis for its rules. Clark Wilson. Uh, Not sure if I will ever use this. Ever. Adversary type. Adversaries can be categorized by their skill, level, and assigned a type. Script kiddies. None existed other than the skill to Google a script. Okay. Hacker. Explorer. Elite group hackers is a small fraction of the population that distinguish. Adversary groups. Adversaries can be analyzed perspective or adversary grouping. Unstructured threat. Unstructured, unstructured threats are those with little or no resources, typically individuals or groups with limited skills. Structured threat. When attackers become organized and develop a greater resource. Okay. Highly structured threat. Nations. Insider, outsider, users of computer system have been divided into. Insider are those who have some form of legitimate access to a system. Threat landscape shift. A threat landscape has for years been defined. Knowledge check. Okay. Employs tools and malicious codes created by other attackers' script kiddies. Consists of people who hold a disproportionate amount of wealth, privilege, political elite, and hacker knows how system operates, can manipulate system to achieve outcomes that may not be desired or permitted. Okay, lesson review. Um, Glossary. Cool, cool. What time is it? It's 1:52 a.m. Um, let's just see a few pages, right? Never too late to study. Security throughout the development process. This is for certified cyber secure coder. The stakes for software security are very high. How do I identify security requirements? How do I design for security? What steps can I take to harden my code? How do I test security during integration? How do I monitor how security is affected by updates? How do I keep my software protected as the new vulnerabilities are found? How do I plan, develop updates? How do I ensure no security privacy problems are created when my software is retired or uninstalled? Identify, architect and design, develop, test, deploy, and maintain. This is the life cycle, software development life cycle. Business requirement. Into software should begin with the development process begins. For many organizations, a project begins with the identification of business requirements. Correct. Standard, compliance, requirements, government regulations. Government regulations. Uh, indus- Industry standards, control objectives for information and related technology. Control provides standards practices and tools pertaining to IT management controls and objectives. The International Organization Information Technology User Impact. Mm, what is this? Consequences of not meeting security requirements. Mhm. What should I hide? Oh, it's like what user requirements and expectation will you have to meet? Aha, so the answer to okay, knowledge check. Click to select the steps in early stages of project. Select elicitation technique and elicit um elicit security requirements, inspect requirements, categorize requirements and prioritize requirements, and identify security. Agree on definitions. Assess risks. Develop artifacts to support security requirements. Agree. I will try. Wait, incorrect. Correct answers. Agree on definitions and identify security goals. Okay, first you identify the security goals, then you develop artifacts, then you assess the risk, then you select the elicitation, then you categorize, then you inspect. Okay. Um, Agree on definition first, then you develop artifacts, then you uh, elicitation techniques, then you categorize like this, I think. No, as assess risks is number three, select elicitation. Uh, Agree on definition, develop artifacts, assess the risk, select elicitation, categorize requirements, inspect. Okay. What was this about? Click to select the steps to elicit and prioritize security requirements in early stages of project. Okay, next. Topic: identify factors that undermine software security. Product, people, process, common defects. Okay. Problem. People. People are called layer 8. Presentation, session, application, transport, internet. No, transport network, data, physical layer. And people is layer number 8. People problems. People cause problems. Software security terminology: asset, item of value, vulnerability, sensitive information sent to website, defect or weakness, threat, the possibility of an event, the possibility, right? Threat agent, a person, actor, organization, disaster. Vector, the path or source through which a threat is delivered, right? Risk, the likelihood that a particular threat will actually materialize, the likelihood. Risk ranking. Risk is often ranked in terms of probability. Mm, oh, yes. Risk equals probability, likelihood, times impact. Exploit. What is this? Assure students that they will learn more about quantifying risk. Oh, exploit, a particular procedure or tool that facilitates a particular type of threat. Particular procedure or tool that facilitates particular type of threat. Consequence, damage that results from a threat being carried out. Consequence, denial of service. A web server or some other services is unable to handle requests from legitimate users because it has gotten bogged down handling bogged service requests issued by attack scripts running on infected client computers. Data loss, loss of customers, revenue. Customers take their business elsewhere. Fines, failure to comply with regulations, operational disruption, or disruption. Business can't continue to function. Countermeasure. Knowledge check. What's that? The heck? What the heck? How am I supposed to see this? Why this is white? A defect or weakness in particular system, that will be vulnerability. Damage that results from threat being carried out. Particular procedure or tool, vector. The possibility of an event threat. A path or source threat which threat is delivered. This is vector. Um, wait a second. Damage. A particular procedure or tool that facilitates particular type of threat. I have to go back for a second. Exploit? Yes. Yeah. Okay. Ta-da. Invisible explanation. Topic. Builders and breakers. Software developers are builders, then attackers are breakers. Okay. Hacking. Phases on an attack, survey and access, exploit and penetrate. Escalation privileges, maintain access, deny service. Always attackers are in hoodies. Always in the hood and dark. Okay, just as builders follow design patterns when programming an application such as um, the following table describes various patterns that an attacker looking for ways. What can I learn about the target? How can I get access? How can I pretend to be someone? Can I perform certain actions that will prevent legitimate users from being able to access? Can I add my own malicious code? Can I misuse the functionality? Can I analyze the structure of function? Can I cause a user program, server, or device to perform action that undermine the integrity? Can I disguise one action for another and therefore trick a user into initiating one type of action when they intend to initiate a different action? Can I supply a file or other input data in an or unorthodox form to bypass security protection? Unorthodox? How can attacker bypass protection in an orthodox form? Answer in one sentence. By exploiting side channels or unintended behaviors. Unorthodox means not usual. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. I like this picture, so I will take a screenshot of it. What attacker looks for in target. I really like this. I'm going for a incident response workshop soon, and this can be useful actually. Reconnaissance. Reverse engineering, functionality misuse, gain access privileges, memory manipulation, parameter injection, input data manipulation, action spoofing. Action spoofing is, can I disguise one action for another? Initiating a user into type of action when they intend to initiate a different action. Software integrity. Can I cause a user program infect the application with the malicious code? Repudiation. Can I conduct a transaction and then deny it, right? Case study. Activity. Activity. Uh-huh. What's that? Oh, wait, I have to mark these dots. Did I? No, I didn't see any dots. Whoa, this is just activities. I don't have to do those. Okay, white hat. Those who hack for criminal purposes. Those who hack software primarily for benevolent, benevolent purposes, such as the security research to find improved software security. Those who might be primarily motivated by profit, selling, and information, they have uncovered to government agencies. They have uncovered. Okay, those can be gray. And white, those who hack software primarily for benevol benevolent, życzliwy, dobroczynny, beneficial,
benevolent,
benevolent, benevolent, gracious, kind, favorable, benevolent. Wait, huh. Security. Ah, yes, this is for good, for security research, right? I have to mark the dots. Dots. Mark the dots. Guidelines for researching vulnerabilities. Okay. Um, okay, activity includes database of security checklists, security related software, includes database security checklist, misconfiguration product, national vulnerability database, I would say. A searchable archive of exploits and vulnerability software supplied in a standard format. Data is maintained in the machine-readable format specified by SCA. Okay, let's see. I'm not sure. Okay. Um, this was offensive. So include database security checklist, defects. And this was offensive security. Yeah, that makes sense. Totally. Data is maintained in a machine readable format specified by the scope. Whoa, really? Okay, again, reset. Okay, so offensive, searchable archive exploits and vulnerable software supply. Oh, okay. This is just a database, national database, but this is searchable archive of exploits and vulnerable software supplied in a standard format. Okay, let's see. Submit. Ooh. NVD, National Vulnerability Database, includes database of security checklists, security-related software defects, misconfigurations, product names, and impact metrics. Data is maintained in the machine-readable format. SCAP means security, content, automation, protocol, offensive security exploit database, a searchable archive of exploits and vulnerable software supplied in a standard format. Ooh. Software requirement specification describe how a piece of software should be constructed, including such things as functional and non-functional requirement. I remember this, but I don't remember what was that about use case and use case, functional and non-functional requirement. Okay, functional requirement. What the system does, features and actions. User can log in, transfer money, generate a report. Non-functional requirements, how well the system works. Example, response time under 2 seconds, high availability. Okay, that's all for today. 2:15, time to go sleep. Oh, look at that. I earned some diamonds. Nice. Okay. Thank you, everyone. See you tomorrow.